Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Retro Select, a series of quick looks at retro games I feel like playing. Today's game is Neverwinter Nights. This was a 2002 release from Infogrames, who were one of many people who've owned the Atari label at the time, and developed by BioWare. It was named after the original Neverwinter Nights game on AOL, which ran between 1991 and 1997, and that game was one of the first graphical, massively multiplayer online role-playing games. And Neverwinter Nights engine, the newer one, was designed around being able to support massively multiplayer scenarios, with servers supporting up to 64 people online at once. The game shipped with the Aurora toolset, which allowed players to create their own scenarios for the game and then play them in either single player or multiplayer. And the multiplayer component was noteworthy for incorporating the ability for a player to take on the role of dungeon master, so they could summon creatures and NPCs and objects and interact with the players in all sorts of different ways. And it really was revolutionary, and there really hasn't been anything quite like it ever since. It's a game that's enjoyed an active community over the years thanks to its potentially limitless replayability, and it got a re-release in 2018 from Beamdog, who had previously put out enhanced editions of Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2. So yeah, there's a Neverwinter Nights enhanced edition out there as well, which plays nicely with modern systems, comes with a bunch of the expansions that were originally available for the old version of the game, and yeah, it's a worthwhile experience. So I thought we'd revisit it today. So let's go play Neverwinter Nights.
Okay, here we are with Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition. I used to really like Neverwinter Nights back in the day. I've never actually played this Enhanced Edition though. At the time of recording, it's very cheap on GOG.com, so if you want to give it a go for yourself, now's a good time to try it out. So there's lots of different ways to play Neverwinter Nights, as you'll see when we hit new here. So we've got all the official campaigns that are included with the game. These are the three original campaigns. The Wailing Death is the original game's campaign, and Shadows of Undrentide and Hordes of the Underdark were two expansion packs for it. And then all of these, Kingmaker, ShadowGuard, Witch's Gate, Contest of Champions, The Dark Ranger's Treasure, The Winds of Evermore, To Err is Human, and Neverwinter Chess. Those are all premium modules that you could download from the official website. Some of them cost money, some of them were free. There's still some additional ones that you can pay extra for on GOG.com as well, including a sort of infinite dungeon hack and slash mode, if that's something you want from this game. But Neverwinter Nights' big strength is really in the sort of role-playing side of things. We've also got some community modules here, including an adaptation of Eye of the Beholder. These are the additional premium modules I was mentioning there. And then local stuff is any stuff you've downloaded yourself from sites online, such as Neverwinter Vault, I think is the sort of best site for that sort of thing. It certainly used to be. I assume it still is. Alright, question is, what do we play now? I'm quite tempted to play something that I've never tried before. We probably won't get through the whole of one of these campaigns, even though some of them are pretty short. You see, this one is like 2 to 3 hours of gameplay. Well, let's give this one a go. ShadowGuard. So, looking back now, I can see that it all began on that fateful day when I was summoned to the Imperial Academy to perform my graduation ceremony. You are the child of Akaris, magistrate of the Imperial city of Garruk, along the disputed northern frontier of the Sharakan Empire. Your astonishing work at the Imperial Academy has drawn the attention of the ShadowGuard, an elite group of secretive Imperial agents that know no failure. Your veil of comfort will soon be torn away, and you will be left to solve the mystery of what lies ahead. So this is one that's actually developed by BioWare. A brand new module and game world created by Ben Altaris McJunkin, the community member responsible for developing the highly successful Lone Wolf series of Neverwinter Nights modules. It's got new music, a new ration-based rest system, 2 to 3 hours of gameplay, developed for a single-player experience. A lot of these can be played multiplayer, but some are designed specifically for single-player. And starting level 3, your character will be automatically set to this level. Let's give it a go. Let's create a character. So this uses D&D 3rd edition rules. If I remember correctly, this was one of the first computer and video games to use 3rd edition rules. So it's quite noteworthy from that perspective. Let's be a lady, because I'm pretty much always a lady in role-playing games. I'm going to adjust my headphone cable because I'm losing the stereo. I need to get a new one of these cables. Keep losing the right channel of my sound. And that's no good, because the music of this is really good. Jeremy Soule, I think. It sounds familiar. Right, race. Let's go for half-elf. I always like half-elves. You can do sub-races if you want as well, and you can put the custom stuff in there. This is all in the name of role-playing, so you don't need to do this sort of thing if you don't want to. Then we choose a portrait, and again, you can import your own portraits into the game if you want to. So let's pick one that looks relatively appropriate. She looks half-elfy, doesn't she? Sure, why not? Class. Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer or Wizard. Let's be a Rogue. Alignment. Will be Chaotic Good. I'm usually Chaotic Good. Now, abilities. Because this is 3rd edition, it's not quite the same as old school D&D, so you can go beyond 18, for example. The important thing is this number here. You'll notice as you increase a stat, that modifier will increase. And so what you want is stuff that is useful to your chosen character class, that gives the biggest bonuses on dice rolls and that sort of thing. What you can do is you can just hit recommended, and that distributes them sensibly for your character. So that gives us a lot of dexterity, bit of strength, reasonable amount of constitution, not much wisdom, decent amount of intelligence, reasonable amount of charisma. But you can then fine-tune those if you want to as well. Packages. You can then choose what kind of package of feats and skills that you want, or you can choose a predefined set of skills. So here the Gypsy class, for example, it's not a class, it's a package of rogue skills and feats. Travelling from town to town, back again on a seasonal migration. They make their way through illegal means and often cross paths with local thieves skills when they do. You'll be a bandit who's good at ambushing, sneak attacks, traps. Scout is good at stealth. And a swashbuckler has an emphasis on combat. So he's also quite a smooth talker as well. So what we can do is we can go configure packages. And you can set these all up yourself if you want to as well. We'll just go with the pre-configured one for now, just to make life a little bit easier. Let's go with swashbuckler because that sounds like fun. And then customize. Set up how you want your character to look. Remember, this game is pretty old now, so don't expect a lot from the from the 3D models. 2 different body types. Your clothing will change pretty much as soon as you get some armor, so you don't want to worry about that too much. But yeah, let's go with that. You will have some nice red hair. And we haven't got any tattoos. So.
At my command, attack!
Alright, you then choose a voice set.
To the fight! Give no quarter! To the fight! Onward!
You have to fight! Come on!
See, your character doesn't actually speak the lines that you pick when you're choosing dialogue options, but you do hear your character say things during combat and that sort of thing. So that's what this is for.
At the enemy! Attack!
At their throats! Cut them down!
Bit of Jennifer Hale there.
Step up to the fight! Bring them down!
Alright! I says you attack right now! Kill them! Kill them all!
Get him! Kick some. Come on, it's time to take out the trash.
All right, crew. Let's take them down.
We have no choice. They must be eliminated.
No time for talking, let's get to the action!
Some fights cannot be avoided!
To arms! To battle!
All right, crew. Let's take them down.
I quite like that one. There we go. Alright. Let's take my traditional RPG name. There have been many Emery's Jerensons over the years, but they've all done the job. You can also put in a biography for yourself there if you want to. If you're playing single player, there's no point in doing that. But if you are playing multiplayer, that means anyone who examines your character can find out a bit more about you. Alright, okay. That is good to go, I think. So skills, so we've got 2 on appraise, 5 on... This is from our package that we chose before the swashbuckler. So we've got 5 on bluff, 2 on concentration, 2 on craft armor, 2 on craft trap, 2 on craft weapon, 6 on disable trap, 1 on discipline, -1 on heal, 7 on hide, 1 on intimidate, -1 on listen, 2 on lore, 7 on move silently, 7 on open lock, 3 on parry, 5 on persuade. You get the idea. Feats, proficient in light armor. Yeah. And no spells, because I'm not a wizard. Alright, let's play. Okay, so what is happening here? Alright, so it levels us up to 3 to begin with. So, in 3rd edition, you can level up different classes if you want to, so you can switch class and do something else. We'll just stick with Rogue for now. We've got 10 skill points to pick from. So let's add a bit to... Open lock is useful. Parry, quite handy. Anything marked class skill is a bit cheaper to increase. Well, they can't go any higher than 5 from the look of things. Let's add to bluff then. Maybe add some heal, because that is quite a useful skill to have it on hand. And then, okay. So we gain 8 hit points. Added to those skills, we gain the evasion feat. And then we level up to level 3, and then we can get started properly. So let's have a couple more on heal. Another one on hide. Open lock and move silently, very useful. A bit more parry, a bit more persuade. A bit more on search. Have some spot as well. And that will do. Got some more feats to have as well. What do these say? So dirty fighting. Character knows brutal and effective fighting tactics. By sacrificing all other attacks during the round, the character can elect to perform a dirty fighting move that will deal an extra 1d4 points of damage. Character gains a +2 bonus on initiative checks and a +2 bonus on persuade checks. That's quite good. Rapid reload is also quite useful, especially if you're using a crossbow. Let's go with that thug one. That sounds quite good. Right, we are finally ready to go. So, this is Neverwinter Nights. So, you can rotate the camera angle with the edge of the screen. I believe you can also... Yeah, if you hold down the middle button, you can rotate it around like that as well. You can also zoom right in, and you can actually control your character directly if you want to, using WSAD. But if you're playing on PC, as we are here, it's probably more practical to just use the point-and-click controls. Alright, let's go talk to the Eternal Spirit. Greetings to you, Wandering Spirit, and welcome to the Halls of Fate. I am the Eternal Spirit, Keeper of the Flames of Fate, and I welcome you to my realm. Soon you shall depart this realm to enter the world of Aberan, taking the mortal form of a young half-elven woman named Amarys Jerensen. There you shall begin the shaping of your destiny. Are you ready to pass through the veil of time and enter the world of Aberan? I am ready! Prepare yourself then, young mortal, for you shall now be sent to Aberan to begin the fulfillment of your destiny. With a great wave of the Eternal Spirit's spectral hand, your vision is covered in darkness.
For a large portion of my young life, I had come to age in the southern cities of the Sharakan Empire, trained among the advanced academies of the Empire's heartlands, leaving my childhood among those peaceful lands. My father's name was Okaris, and he was a general of the Sharakan army who enjoyed the favor of Emperor Raka. His fame ensured my mother and I had few wishes which went unfulfilled, and we lived a life of luxury and ease.
It's very rare to hear a character talking in these, so...
I saw very little of my father himself, however. Always campaigning with his men in the north, my father was not one for the simple pleasures of home, and years would pass between his visits to see my mother and me. I must confess I had little desire to know my father much further than the visiting stranger he had become, and it always seemed to me that he felt much the same way. But destiny often takes strange turns we do not expect, and in the year 1370 my mother took ill to the Red Plague spreading throughout the south. Within 3 months she was dead, leaving me alone upon our rich plantation. My father had recently taken over the position of ruling magistrate over the city of Garak, an imperial colony along the outermost fringes of the wild frontier known as the Northern Reaches. His duties keeping him busy as they did, my father barely arrived in time to share a few last words with my mother before she departed this world forever. After my mother's funeral, my father and I were left with the awkward decision of what fate would befall me. In many ways, I would have preferred to stay upon our plantation home in the south and make my own destiny. But my father had other ideas. At his bidding, I was brought to live among the imperial citizens of Garak to finish my training at the Imperial Academy under my father's care. Life upon this wild land proved very different from that of the civilized cities of the south, and I felt quite alone among my new home in Garak. Though we now lived within the walls of the same city, I saw my father little more than I had before, for he was always on official business with his duties as the city's magistrate. Still, my time was not completely wasted, and I worked night and day to finish my training at the Imperial Academy, in the hope that I might yet be free to make my way in the world as my own woman. Unbeknownst to me at the time, life was soon to take a turn that would change my fate forever. Looking back on it now, I can see that it all began on that fateful day, when I was summoned to the Imperial Academy to perform my graduation ceremony.
Gillis, the elderly servant of your father's household, rushes forward and bows before you. You notice that your father is suspiciously missing from his side.
Milady, I see you have arrived for the graduation ceremony here at the Academy. I know your father must be proud to have a daughter such as you today.
I hope so, though I'm concerned by his absence.
I just could not imagine your father would fail to be here to witness such a grand event. In fact, I would wager he is on his way here even as we speak.
I won't be holding my breath.
Magistrate Okaris will be here, Amaris. I'm certain he would not miss the graduation of his only daughter from the Imperial Academy. In fact, I believe I shall go find your father right now and see what is taking him so long. The ceremony will begin soon, and I'm sure he's merely tied up with some menial business. Why don't you go speak with Instructor Jarvis and begin the graduation ceremony? I shall return momentarily with Magistrate Okaris, surely in time to see you accept your honours.
Very well, but please ensure my father comes soon. Gillis gives you a wink and a smile.
I'll have Magistrate Okaris here before you know it, Emery.
Without a further word, Gillis bows in farewell and departs quickly from the Academy's walls. All right, now line up. It's now time to begin the ceremony. Instructor Jarvis, a thin, sallow man with sharp facial features, greets you with a smile as you approach. Ah, you're ready to join us, Amaris. Being the magistrate's own daughter is a burden all its own, isn't it? Welcome, everyone. This is an exciting moment for our small academy, as today marks an end to your training under this roof. All that remains is for you to claim the citizenship that is now yours by right. But the morning is growing short, and it's imperative that we begin. Lady Amaris, as the daughter of our magistrate, will you do your classmates the honour of leading the ceremony? Yes, I will. Citizenship in the Sharakan Empire is an important rite of passage. Upon becoming a citizen, you will find many new obligations that will fall upon your able shoulders. The most important of these obligations is that of judgment. In times of need, the Empire will call upon you to judge the actions of your peers. As a citizen, only you can decide what is right and what is wrong. Judge well, for the day may come when you too are judged. For his crimes against the Empire, Yakir the Black was put to death by the sword. Our great Emperor Raka has seen fit to hold Yakir's soul in keeping for your judgment. Amrys Jerenson, daughter of Okaris Jerenson, it is you who must pronounce sentence on Yakir's soul. Is he to be held in Raka's eternal keeping, or is he to have his place in hell? Both are punishments of a sort, but the judgment must be yours. Can you explain the judgment in more detail? Of course. Yakir's fate is in your hands, just as the fate of the Empire lies in the hands of its citizens. The judgment is only one of many duties a citizen is obligated to, but many consider it to be the most important. To complete the judgment, you must go to the altar and place your hands upon the stone of judgment. The stone will ask you for your decision, and then abide by it. Come speak to me once you've finished the task. Very well. Let it begin. Instructor Jarvis smiles softly at you and nods his head. I'm sure you shall do fine, Emerys. There are no wrong answers in the judgment, but, as you speak on behalf of your classmates, I urge you to discuss his fate with them. Alright, let's do that. So, Janthos the Inventor and Alia.
Hello there.
Hi, Emerys. Aren't you excited? It's our final day as lowly subjects of the Empire and our first as true citizens. Or at least it will be as soon as we can get through this ceremony. Is there any way I can help with the judgment? What do you know of Yakir? I don't know. I was staying with my family in the forest at the time, and we really don't pay much attention to what happens here in the city. With the exception of the Academy, of course. I'm not sure what to tell you, Emerys.
You don't remember the Black Butcher? The heralds were calling out the news throughout half the Empire 2 years ago. Foolish druids. If a bird falls sick in the forest, you all know of it, but if 100 city folk are killed, you never hear a thing.
2 years? His spirit has been trapped here for that long? It's not natural. He should have been sent to the afterlife. It's up to the spirit cycle to cleanse sins from the dead, no matter what their crime. Please, Emerys, the spirit of any living thing should be allowed to pass on when it dies. The spirit cycle spirit is a natural thing, as plain as breathing. We have no right to interfere in it, not even as citizens of the Empire.
What do you mean by spirit cycle? Blah, blah, blah. Yakir is a heinous criminal, an abomination to your precious nature, not part of it. If Raka holds him to this plane, it's for good reason.
She asked me about the spirit cycle, Janthos, so kindly keep your comments to yourself. You see, Emerys, we all pass through the cycle of death, life, and rebirth. It's a natural process and helps maintain balance in the world. People are born. In life, they make their choices, sowing the seeds of imbalance in the world. In death, the balance is restored through the blessings and punishments of heaven and hell, so they can be reborn, pure and new, into the world. To trap him here, away from heaven or hell, is to preserve that imbalance. If he is as evil as Janthos claims, then you have made the world more evil by keeping him here. Don't you see, Janthos?
Hogwash! He made his bed and he should lie in it. If he really is going to be reborn like you claim, he'll just make the same choices all over again. And how many other people will lose their families over it? Don't let it happen, Emerys, I beg you.
Ooh, excuse me. Have we struck a nerve, Janthos?
Janthos glares at you briefly, but his gaze soon softens. You know I lost my parents to brigands. I didn't mean to lash out like that, but you must learn to be more sensitive to other people's feelings, mine included. But I do ask that you let Raka hold Yakir here for where he can do no more damage. For the family still mourning their losses, if nothing else.
Well, let's agree to disagree then. We've both come to our decisions honestly, and you with more loss than I. I wish I'd had more time to get to know you. Time at the Academy moves quickly for you, doesn't it? As for me, I love you all dearly, but I can't help to get back to the woods. The Druid Council said they'd name me as a true druid on my return. A true druid and a true citizen of the Empire. Wouldn't it be wonderful, Emerys? Why can't you stay here in the city? Home is home, and family is family. My parents will stay here long enough to recover from the journey, then we'll leave for the woods. I don't know if I'll ever even come back to the city. It's a long journey, Emerys.
You can take the druid out of the wood, but you can't take the wood out of the druid, isn't that what they say?
Janthos gives Alia a friendly punch on the shoulder.
We'll miss you, Alia, but we won't keep you.
And I will miss both of you. You've both been the most wonderful friends a girl could dream of. Come on, Emerys. Stop stalling and let's be done with this judgment. What do you think of Emperor Raka? Raka protects the Empire. Even before there was an empire, he protected the people of the cities and the trees of the forest. He's done so much for all of us who follow his teachings. With all he's done for the forest, I think he may be a brother druid. A druid? That's a joke, right? Raka is the heart of an inventor. He's designed the entire empire to perfection. Every citizen has a role, every city its defenses. He doesn't have time to worry about the trees, Alia. He has people like you to do that. And you've met Emperor Raka, have you? No, I didn't think so. Anyway, I was helping Emery, so there. Why does it matter what Raka is? I guess it doesn't really. Alia offers you a puzzled frown. Whatever the Emperor is, he seems to hold the peace and protection of his citizens in high regard, and we all have that to be thankful for at the very least. That much we can agree upon. Janthos grins widely, the original dispute already long forgotten. Now what were you asking? Oh, God, excuse me. Now what were you asking Alia again? It's my own fault for choosing that voice for him, wasn't I? Let's talk about something else. Glad to have your parents here? I can't imagine not having them. They travelled for 3 days from Lockbria so they could be here, even with the floods. They're exhausted and haven't even unpacked the mules, but they wouldn't have missed the ceremony for all the world. You're a lucky girl, Alia. Your parents really love you, especially your mother. She seems nearly ecstatic about you gaining citizenship. Mum was pregnant with me when she graduated from this academy and wasn't able to attend the final ceremony, so in some ways this one is for the both of us. It's good to see them again, though. It's been so long since I last went home. Alia glances at her mother's smiling, tear-stained face and gives a little wave. Your father will arrive soon, Emery, so I know he will. Excuse me.
Greetings.
Still pondering what to do about Yakir, are you, Emerys? Tell me about Yakir the Black. Some called him the Black Butcher, but others call him much worse. He was a small-time sorcerer until 2 years ago. One afternoon he started hurling fireballs and summoning demons in the city streets. In his short but bloody rampage he killed over 120 people. Most were women and children. After the guards sealed his power, he was tried and summarily executed for his crimes. A truly awful sort. I'm glad to see he's still being held under Raka's power, and if you ask me, that's where he should stay. Raka will make him pay for his crimes more thoroughly than hell ever could. Well, that seems a little harsh. Murder is a pretty harsh thing, Alia, especially 100 murders. I have no pity for those who kill for sport, but enough talk of dark deeds. It makes my skin crawl. Is there anything else you'd like to know, Emerys? Tell me about yourself. The gnome chuckles wryly. I know you're trying to buy time until your father arrives, but this is hardly the time or the place to be swapping well-worn stories with each other. After the ceremony, maybe. I'll be out in the courtyard. Working on your mechanical monstrosities, I have no doubt. Must your projects always be so unnatural and dangerous, Janthos? Druids. This feat of engineering's a true testament to my, Actually, what was I saying about well-worn stories? I'll show you what I mean out in the courtyard later, okay, Emerys? It's a shame your parents can't be here. They're here in spirit. The gnome smiled warmly at the thought. I think that they would be very proud with all I've learned here. Gosh, it's been so long since I was orphaned to the academy, hasn't it? I'm sure they would be very proud, Janthos. You've accomplished much during your time here, excluding, of course, those mechanized monsters you have strolling the courtyards. Oh, excuse me. It's always about my golems, isn't it, Alia? Where is your father, Emery? I'd have expected he'd be here today. Gilles said he'd be here shortly. I'm sure he will. I'm surprised he's not here already, to be honest. I can't count the number of times he's stopped by the academy to discuss your progress with the instructors. I'm sure Janthos is right. Your father's offices are near enough. I'm sure he'll be here before the ceremony ends. Excuse me. The spirit hisses at you, baring its ghostly white teeth in a threatening grimace. You would dare to judge me, pawn of Raka? Might as well have the rabbit judge the snare. Tell me of your crimes. My crimes? Is that what they call them? The Empire fills your head with rubbish and calls you wise. It is the Empire that came here to tame the North and crush us under its heel. If you find a stone you cannot crush, do you name it a criminal tool? Criminal too, even. What of those you killed? What of those the Empire killed? For every ounce of blood on my hands, there are 10 on yours. They were mindless fools who would not see the truth. They lived and died in Raka's name. The death I offered was too good for them. What of the women and children?
You would swat a fly, yet leave its maggots there to fester. Your precious empire has done the same to us. It is the nature of war, and I've had little need to question it.
Why do you hate the empire?
We were a proud people once, and strong. One does not ask to be conquered to be assimilated. One simply resists. One fights. You Imperials are far from home, but we will send you there, your tail between your legs.
Do you truly expect to succeed?
We know your strength, Imperial, but did your precious academy teach you anything of your weaknesses? You swagger like a child with a wooden sword tucked within your belt.
Tell me about this resistance.
It is an older battle than you imagine, Imperial. Ask your precious Raka how old it is. The one who leads us will crush the Raka beneath his heel, much as the Empire first crushed us. Start counting now, for your days are numbered, child.
What judgment do you desire?
If the choice is between hell and Empire, then I choose hell. I only pity you do not offer yourself the same choice. Now begone, and make your precious judgment. Let the deed be done.
Enough. It is time I judged you. So, resting upon the stone surface of this altar lies a glowing orb that you recognize as an Orb of Judgment. These magical devices are used by the Imperial Courts to punish criminals according to the precepts of Raka's law. The Orb of Judgment shines with a brilliant glow, beckoning you to lay your hands upon its smooth surface. Begin the judgment! At your touch, the Orb of Judgment glows even brighter. You feel its soothing warmth overcome you, and your gaze is drawn to the wispy form of a nearby wraith. A soft voice speaks within your mind. Before you stands the spirit of Yakir the Black, a foul murderer whose bloody spree claimed the lives of countless subjects of the Empire, women and children included. It lies in your hands, citizen, to determine his spirit's fate. Almighty Raka currently holds the spirit here, safe from the punishments of hell, which even the wicked do not deserve. But the Emperor will bend his hand to your will, either holding Yakir here for all eternity, or sending him to hell should you request it. What shall we say? I mean, he's already dead. He is not Raka's to hold. Grant him hell. Yakir utters a low cackle.
You have done me a great service, mortal. My people are in your debt for it.
The ethereal shackles holding the spirit in place dissolve, and Yakir is quickly pulled into the depths of the underworld where he rightfully belongs. The light of the Orb of Judgment is dimmed. With the sentencing of Yakir's spirit now complete, it appears its purpose is fulfilled.
Hello.
I see that you have sentenced Yakir to his fate. You have served Raka's will with your actions. Are you ready to continue the ceremony? Yes, let's continue. The judgment is complete. Yakir's spirit has been banished, and shall find suffering in the hells until its penance has been served. Lady Emery's Janthos, though I do not appreciate your outburst, I shall let it be known that you have fulfilled your obligation to the Empire. As Lady Janthos has spoken on behalf of all the class shall taste of Raka's gratitude. Each of you has acted in service to the Empire. The Emperor gives us 3 crests by which we can serve him all the better. They are the crest of the Guardian, the crest of the Enforcer, and the crest of the Redeemer. Which do you choose, Alia? I choose the crest of the Redeemer, Instructor. I can use its healing power to ease the pain of the forest and its creatures. What powers does the crest of the Redeemer hold? The crest has powers of healing. You can use it to regenerate health over time or heal moderate wounds instantly. It can be used only once a day, but its power is everlasting, as are the powers of all the crests. I come across wounded creatures in the forest many times, and too often there is little I can do. With the Redeemer's crest, perhaps I can be of greater help. Thank you, Instructor Jarvis. A good choice, Alia. May both your crest and your citizenship serve you well. Now, Janthos, which crest will you choose?
I think I want the Guardian crest, but
Well, the power of the Enforcer Crest is so tempting. I could fortify the offensive strength of my golems with it, but... What is the power of the Guardian Crest? The Guardian Crest will raise a magic shield over whoever I choose. It is a great defensive tool that can deflect the blows of those who seek to cause harm. I've always been a little on the frail side, so maybe I should take this one. Janthos is correct, but the crest has an additional power. It can also raise a separate shield to defend against those who wield magic. With both powers active, it is a defensive tool against a wide spectrum of foes. Maybe I should have chosen that one. It's so hard to decide, but I'll stay with the Redeemer. Hopefully I can do more good with it. What is the power of the Enforcer Crest? The Enforcer is a wonderful offensive tool. With it you can enchant a weapon with a wreath of magical flame. Can you imagine how much that might improve my golems? That sounds truly terrifying, Janthos. Please, Instructor Jarvis, make him take the Guardian. Oh, Janthos, don't you see that your safety is so much more important than the power of those soulless toys you seem so obsessed with? All of the crests offer considerable power, and that is why they are only given to those who have achieved full citizenship. Only those who truly serve the Emperor can be trusted with such tools. Silently wait for your turn. Please, Janthos, take the Guardian Crest. Your golems don't need any more power. You, however, do need some amount of protection. Curse you, Alia. I'll take the Guardian Crest if you're so concerned, but don't think you can keep me from finding ways to make my creations more powerful. The best way to protect this city is to make those who guard it as strong as possible. An excellent choice, Janthos. I too believe the Guardian Crest would serve you best, though your point about the city's protection is well taken. Now, Emery, it is your turn to decide. Which power will you wield as a citizen of the Empire? Well, let's take the Enforcer Crest then. With the crest of the Enforcer at your side, you shall purge the Empire of its enemies. Are you comfortable with your choice? Yes. Very well. Then let's begin the closing ceremony. I'm sure you are all eager to explore your new powers and the new role you shall play as citizens of this fine empire. This rite of passage now draws to a close. Though you have all grown up as subjects of the Empire, only now have you become its official citizens. Well, I suppose I should return to my work on the golems. Congratulations, my little one. I'm so proud of you. Thanks, Mum and Dad. Come, let's find you two an inn. I'm sure your father will be very proud once he receives word of your citizenship, Emery. It is quite the achievement, after all. Perhaps so, but I wish he had been here to see me accept the honours. I am sure there must have been some sort of pressing business that interfered with his attendance, Emery. It meant so much to him, he would not have missed this event over a trivial matter. I'm sure that's the case. Of course I am. Magistrate Akaris is very proud of you. Rest assured of that fact. I have often heard him speak praises of your accomplishments here at the Academy to the visiting politicians. For now, though, you should clear your mind of such distractions. I have some news that may lift your spirits. One of the Empire's elite organizations seems to have taken an interest in you. It is an honor given to very few of your young age. Who has taken such an interest in me? The ShadowGuard, a force in Raka's direct service. Very little is known about them, and I will not bias you with the few rumors I have heard. Suffice to say, their service to the Empire has been a shining light in dark times. Though I have rarely been impressed by your wild and unruly behavior here at the Academy. However, it seems your position as daughter of Magistrate Akaris Jerinson has drawn a great deal of attention to you. Your actions reflect the training of the Academy. As such, I would like for you to make a good impression on the ShadowGuard. A man named Marcius Albright is waiting for you in the market. He told me to guide you his way. Should you succeed and gain acceptance into the ShadowGuard, your power and renown will be equalled only by your father's. If there was ever a time you wished to explore the Empire outside Garak, this is your opportunity. Farewell for now, Amaris, and take this tome as a parting gift from me. It is the chronicles of our world, Abraun, and you will do well to study it. Let it be your guide in all that comes, for the lessons of the past are lessons for our future. Raka's blessing upon you, child. Alright. Plot. Lots of plot. So now it's time to go and do stuff. Gilles comes rushing towards you as you enter the Imperial District, his elderly face red and his breathing heavy from the exertion.
I'm glad I was able to catch you, Madame Emery. I bring news from your father.
And what would that be?
Magistrate Acaris has found himself in council with visitors from Emperor Raka, and apparently a matter of great urgency has arisen. He wishes to send his deepest apologies for missing your graduation ceremony this afternoon.
I wish he had been there, but I understand, Gilles.
Magistrate Acaris says to assure you that he shall make it up to you later this day, and suggests that you perhaps spend a bit of time in the market district until he sends for you. I do apologize if I am the bearer of ill news, my lady. I bid you a good afternoon and pray that Raka keep you in his blessings.
The elderly gentleman scampers away quickly. Alright. Let's just have a wander around and see what we can see then, I guess. This construct seems to pay little heed, methodically going about its work in the Imperial District. So here's our journal. This lists all the quests, but it lists it as sort of prose rather than objectives. So that sort of keeps on with the whole role-playing angle of things. Map. Imperial Grand Hall to the Imperial Estate to the Market District. They said hang out in the market, so hang out in the market is what we should do. Your senses are assaulted by a multitude of noises and scents as you enter the crowded, bustling market district of Garak. There's Marquis Albright waiting for us.
Yes, hello to you.
The man standing before you appears solemn and grim. The glint in his eyes seems to carry an unusual wisdom and strength. Good afternoon to you, young madam. I'm Marquis Albright, a traveller of the northern reaches, and I extend my greetings to you. Marquis, you must be the one Instructor Jarvis sent me to meet. Oh, did he now? I was hoping he wouldn't be so forward. Nevertheless, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Pleased to meet you. I'm Emery Sterenson. Now that the formalities are out of the way, I would speak with you, if you have a moment, regarding a proposal that may benefit both of us. What do you wish to discuss, Marquis? It has come to my attention that a group of slavers, part of a broader organisation known as the Bloodhawks, has set up a base somewhere here in Garak. These foul criminals have been collecting their victims from the people of the Market District to later be sent north and sold into a life of cruel servitude. I would like for you to aid me in bringing an end to their activity in this city. I would gladly help you. What would you have me do? It is reassuring to know that you will stand against such a disgusting practice. Do not worry, the task I wish you to perform is a minor one, and I shall reward you for your service. I am willing to pay you 100 gold pieces if you help me discover the location of the Bloodhawks base here in Garak. Once I have this information, I will take care of the Bloodhawks personally. Fair enough, I will assist you. One of this district's merchants, a dark fellow named Shrak, is rumoured to have dealings with the Bloodhawks. I believe he may know the location of the slaver base here in the city. I suggest you seek out Shrak and see what you may learn from him. If he truly has been assisting the Bloodhawks, I believe he will have the information I seek. How do you suggest I get this information from Shrak? You may be able to convince Shrak to tell you if his trust can be gained. Shrak is also a bit of a coward from what I hear, and might be intimidated in giving you the information. If you cannot get the information from Shrak personally, you may be able to find some sort of evidence either on his person or near his merchant stand. I'll see what I can find. Very well, I shall await your return here. Alright, well, there's Shrak over there. So, let's just see what we can do. I'm losing the sound again. Excuse me jiggling my cable. Psst. You there, having trouble finding what you need? Perhaps Shrak can give you a hand in finding just what you're looking for. Before you stands a small framed man with facial features resembling those of a rat. He gives you a sharp grin, exposing a set of small yellow teeth. What is it you sell here? Let's just say that I have a way of acquiring goods normally not allowed in the market district. The Sharakan Empire has quite strict regulations on these sorts of things, but that's never stopped Shrek. You sell illegal goods. The merchant gives you a suspicious stare. That's none of your affair, lass. Now, if you are not here to make a purchase, I would ask that you leave. I'm journeying south and wish to get rid of a servant. The merchant looks at you with his small eyes narrowed suspiciously. I'm sorry, friend, but I don't know anything in that regard. Let's see if we can persuade him. There's always a market for good help. I suppose you do seem trustworthy enough, so perhaps I may be able to help you after all. Luck would have it that I have some friends in town right now, my good lass. They're always on the lookout for good specimens. You'll be well paid if your companion is of hardy stock. Go to the Ravenclaw Tavern and visit one of the tavern rooms there. Knock upon the door 3 times and one of the men I'm speaking of will answer. When he does, say, the hawk's blood flows freely. I will let them know you were sent by me. I take you myself, but as I'm sure you can see, I'm a bit preoccupied with business. Now, if you'll just be on your way. Have you brought any news regarding the Bloodhawk's base? 2 of their operatives are staying at the Ravenclaw Tavern. You have served your purpose well, Emery. I shall have a chance to finally track down the foul Bloodhawk base within this city. You have done much for me already, Emery. However, I have learned that Bloodhawks have thrived here and have a much larger force than I anticipated. I fear that I alone would have little success striking against these slavers, for they are likely well armed and dangerous. I will still attempt to drive them out, but I need help. Would you be willing to lend me some assistance and help track down these slavers? Together, we could put an end to their trade once and for all. I would be glad to help you put an end to these Bloodhawks. I'm glad to hear it, Emery. You are a good woman, and I won't forget what you've done for me. We should set off as quickly as we can to confront the Bloodhawks at the Ravenclaw Tavern, and see if we may discern the location of their slaver base. Come, Emery. Together, you and I shall go to the Ravenclaw Tavern, and face these criminals side by side. Lead the way, Emery, for you are far more knowledgeable of this city than I. Rest assured that I will stand ready to aid you as needed. And you'll see he's now been added to our party. Right, before we do anything else, we should probably make sure that we're equipped with some stuff. So these are our rations. There's our Crest of the Enforcer. Now, I just need to remember how you... because you can hotbar stuff. I need to remember how you do that, though. Assign other actions. Because we should be able to hotbar our... Crest of the whatnot to this. I don't need to hotbar crafting. Assign command. Pick block inventory. And that's just a shortcut to inventory. Okay, well, doesn't really matter too much for now. We should equip that, though. So we've got a weapon. And that's all for the minute. Alright, where is the Ravenclaw Tavern? It's over there. Are you coming with? Good. This is the place. Just going to save. And they said upstairs and knock on the doors 3 times, didn't they?
This is beyond me. I can't do this.
Greetings to you, lass, and welcome to the Ravenclaw Tavern. I am Rooknar, proud tavern keeper of this fine establishment. So, lass, what can I do for you today? What do you have to offer here? Well, of course, lass, we're always open for business here at the Ravenclaw Tavern. Oh, excuse me. Oh, dear me. Where are the stairs then? That's the door back outside, isn't it? Oh, there's another door there.
This is beyond me. I can't do this.
You attempt to turn the knob of this door, but it appears to be locked from within. Knock on the door. You believe you hear movement on the other side of the door, but no one answers your knock. Knock on the door again. As you rap the door again, you hear nothing on the other side to make you believe anyone currently inhabits this room. Knock yet again on the door. Just as you are preparing to give up on the endeavour and walk away, you hear the peephole on the door draw open. A raspy voice speaks from the other side. Eh? Who goes there? What business do you have coming rapping upon this door? The hawk's blood flows freely. Ah, you must have been sent by Shrek. Give me a moment, lass. You hear the lock on the door draw back, and it suddenly swings forward before you. So that glowing chest there means that if you break into that, then someone will probably try and kill you. Let's just close that door. And then have a chat with this gentleman here. The man standing before you gives a welcoming grin, but his eyes glint with the dangerous light. So, you are here from business from Shrek, I take it. On behalf of the Bloodhawks, I welcome you. The Bloodhawk turns his gaze towards Marcius, and his smile broadens. I see you have brought your companion with you. He seems to be a fine specimen indeed. We shall lead you to our master. He'll be very pleased with the both of you. The 2 Bloodhawks smile at you, and you get the sense that something is horribly wrong. Suddenly, you feel a stinging in your neck. Raising your hand to it, you feel the feathered end of a small dart. Your vision already beginning to blur, you see Marcius stagger and fall to the floor. The room whirls around you, but you feel no impact. You wake to the sound of a metal door clanging against cold, damp stone. Somebody's boot nudges you in the ribs, then wins you with a solid kick. The hood covers your face, but your hands and feet are free. Which one's slave and which one's master? You hear another kick, and Marcius grunts in pain. Suddenly, there are sounds of a scuffle, more grunts and groans, then the sickening sound of a breaking neck. You all right, Emery? Before you can answer, you hear a chair topple in the outer room and the sound of heavy footsteps coming your way. You reach for your weapon, only to find that it's not there. Blinded by your hood, you steel yourself.
No escape! I'll see you dead!
So, combat in this is similar to the Baldur's Gate games in that it's active pause, I believe they call it. And the way it works is you click on stuff, and that sort of does a default action, in this case, attack. But at any point you can pause and you can queue up actions to do. So if I know that I want to move into position, say behind this dude, I can do that, and then I can attack him from behind. I have died, though. Death is permanent in ShadowGuard. Please load your game from a previous save. Autosaves have been provided for your convenience. Alright, well, let's try that again, shall we? Knock, knock. Blood first ready.
What?
Yes, yes, yes. Alright, pause. Inventory. Alright, no means of getting that hood off ourselves, unfortunately. You can see if you hold down tab here, you can see where enemies and interactive objects are. So even if you're blinded, as we are now, which is why the screen is all dark, you can see where stuff is. So he's just knocked that guy down there. He's badly wounded, so we can get some nice attacks in there on him. Yeah, let me get the hood off you.
Yes.
Right.
Hello to you.
What do you wish of me, Emery? Okay, never mind. He's just in party member mode at the minute. So if we go to chest over here, we might be able to retrieve our stuff. Ooh, heavy crossbow. And one of them. And some gold. And some keys. Or a key. Alright, let's use a crossbow. Except I do not have any bolts. So let's use a short sword. Alright, anything else worthwhile in here? Doesn't look that way. Can we search that body? Doesn't seem that way. Alright, well, I guess we're just going to have to go out and kick some booty. So we use the slave pen key there to actually get out. There's another blood hook over there. Attack of opportunity there is sort of him getting in an attack as I try and move past him. Stop attacking me, attack the other guy. There we go. Right. You cannot rest while there are enemies nearby. Of course not. Oh, God. Many enemies. Charging in there would look like a bad idea. But I don't think we have a lot of option, unfortunately. Can we sneak? Let's try to sneak. Stealth mode. That's one by the bloody door, isn't it? Oh.
Perish as you should. Perish as you should. Let the earth take you.
Oh, they're not very strong. They're not very strong. And I'm a rogue. I should be good at dodging stuff. There we go. See, it's all fine. Apart from that enormous amount of damage I just took. 6 damage is a lot in Dungeons and Dragons if you're not familiar. And then there's the chappie over there. Stop shooting arrows at me. Hit him.
Perish as you should.
There we go. Much better. You know what would be great right now? Some healing. Now, I wonder... Oh, I bet I haven't got my... Oh, I have still got my crest. So if I put... Okay, so you just hot bar the item, and that puts the hotbars, the item's ability on the hotbar. That's fine. Alright, let's take a rest. And get some health back. See our hit points bar increasing back there. He's got a lot more hit points than we have. You stop to eat a meal from your pack. 4 meals remain. So that ration system isn't in base Neverwinter Nights. It's new for this particular module. Hey. You enter the makeshift throne room, the stench of rot and decay hanging heavily in the air. Sitting nonchalantly before you is an elven man, his thin face twisted in a cruel sneer. His guards shift uncomfortably as he beckons you closer. Well, 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 I trust you woke pleasantly. Allow me to welcome you to my little lair beneath the city of Garrick. Business is slow but profitable, and we so seldom receive visitors in this place. My pleasure, but it would be more pleasant if I knew your name. Marcus suddenly comes forward, his eyes burning with intensity. I believe I can help with that. This accursed piece of filth is called Jordak. The elven leader of the Bloodhawks claps his hands in delight. It is good to see you again, my old friend Mr. Albright. I knew the day would come when our paths would cross once more. Oh, I'm sure you thought you were terribly clever in tracking me down to this lair, but I assure you I was quite aware of all your inquiries into my whereabouts, old friend. We should have stayed in hiding, Marcus. There are few who escape my grasp, and those who do would be well advised to stay out of it once and for all. But not you. No, you keep coming back. You simply had to follow me, had to involve yourself in my affairs, didn't you? That is a mistake I shall make you sorely regret. Yes, very sorely indeed. I take it you two know each other? To answer your question, Marcus and I know each other quite well. He was the only slave to ever escape my clutches, and now I can finally punish him for all of the humiliation I have suffered on his behalf. Marcus clenches his fists, his jaw setting grim determination. You are mistaken, Jordak. The humiliation has just begun. A cruel sneer emerges on Jordak's face. I tire of this witless banter. You and your companion shall die this afternoon, slave. Mark my words. Can't we talk this over? I'm afraid the time for talking is over, lass. Jordak motions to his men. Come, let us show these precocious upstarts what comes of crossing blades with the Bloodhawks. Right. Let's use our flaming weapon. And hit!
Let the earth take you!
Oh, is there someone with a... There is someone with a bow. Let's go deal with him. Wallop! Hit him.
You will die!
Sneak attack. Lovely stuff. And you. You can also have some. I'm going to trust you not to die, Marcus. Let's deal with these trash first. Oh, he's got a potion. That's alright. He'll be fine. Now, if I could just hit someone, that'd be awesome.
No escape! I'll see you!
Right, he's down. So, you are next. Actually, don't want to present my back to him, really. May you rot in the hells for all eternity, Jordak. Alright, good stuff.
Yes, hello to you.
He's got stuff. Excellent. Right. Okay, so I guess we just get out of here now. And the exit is just there.
Perish as you should.
More baddies. Die.
No escape. I'll see you dead. You will.
If certain aspects of this game seem a little bit familiar, if you ever played Knights of the Old Republic by BioWare, that runs on a variation of this game's engine. So all the stuff with like activating power attacks and stuff like that's all. Knights of the Old Republic was basically based on the same D20 system that D&D 3rd edition is based on. Is that it? I think we're done. You slowly raise yourself up the rope to the sewers above. Marcus looks upon you, his expression drawn in troubled thought. Finally, it is over. Jordak has met his doom. I was glad to be of help, Marcus. Marcus gives you a solemn nod, and I thank you for it, lass. Know that you have my eternal gratitude for your aid in this matter. Some fellow travellers have made the journey north with me and are boarding at the tavern, Cara Dinish and Taran Lightfingers. Perhaps you have met them already. If not, I recommend you seek them out and make their acquaintance. Raka's blessing upon you, Emerys. I wish we could speak further, but I need to be alone with my thoughts for now. We will meet again, you have my word. With that, Marcus Albright turns and leaves, his form disappearing in the dark reaches underneath the city of Garak. Alright, so that is basically what Neverwinter Nights is all about. So you see, this particular module has a lot of dialogue. Not all of them do, but obviously the engine is set up quite nicely to do a lot of text-based stuff. And so in a lot of these modules, there's a lot of sort of very atmospheric writing and so on, and then choices to make and things to do. But there's also a really solid real-time RPG engine on top of that as well, with all the D&D systems and that kind of thing, and combat and stealth and yeah, everything you'd expect from a game like this. Back when this first came out, some people didn't like it quite as much as the Baldur's Gate games because there's a very strong focus on just playing your character in this rather than managing a whole party. That is mainly because of the sort of multiplayer focus. Sort of the one of the main intentions of this game is that you each play your own character in a multiplayer session, and you have a party that is made up of actual players. And indeed, you can play all of the main campaigns and a lot of the expansions in that way if you want to. But as you saw, you can have NPCs coming along with you. You can't take direct control of them, I don't think. But you can certainly sort of give them some commands on strategy and that sort of thing. But yeah, the main focus is very much on your character and what you do with your character. So that is a slightly different approach to how Baldur's Gate did things. And some people didn't like that quite as much. I think I actually slightly prefer it because it means you don't have as many things to manage and worry about at the same time. You just have to focus on what you're doing. And you can usually count on the NPCs or the AI control characters to fend for themselves to a certain degree. You can help them out with spells and potions and that sort of thing. But yeah, for the most part, you can generally fairly safely rely on them. Right, I mean, there's probably a lot more to this module than what we've just seen. That was pretty much just one quest that we did there. But that should give you a good idea of what Neverwinter Nights is all about, why it's worth playing. I mean, it's not much of a looker today, although the texture work in this game is always been very nice. And a few enhancements to the engine, like the water effects are a lot better than they used to be, for example. The character models are nothing special, of course, but they are mainly there as sort of the equivalent of miniatures. They're there to sort of act as a sort of placeholder for something, if you like, and then a lot of the work goes on in the imagination in this game, which is one of the reasons I like it so much. But yeah, as with anything like that, your mileage may vary as to how well you respond to that. But yeah, I'm pleased with that. Like I say, I've not tried the enhanced edition that this is beforehand, but yeah, it seems that this is good, so I will likely be spending some more time with this. And as I say, at the time of recording, It's cheap on GOG.com. I don't know if it still will be by the time I actually put this video out. But I mean, even sort of when it's not on sale on GOG.com, it's not super expensive anyway. So it's well worth picking up. It's also available on consoles as well. So if you prefer to play it on console, you can do. I always kind of feel that this is very much a PC game, though. It was originally designed as a PC game. And I suspect if you're interested in the multiplayer side of things, you will probably find more people playing it on PC as well. I don't know if there's cross-platform multiplayer offhand. I have a feeling not, but don't quote me on that. But anyway, as I say, that's that. That is Neverwinter Nights. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.